What city did you fly out of, and what was your flight path to get to Austin?
Okay, I flew from Zurich. It was
Switzerland.
yes, in Switzerland, to Amsterdam, then to Detroit, and to Austin.
So where do you live now, and what did it take for you to travel to come see us here in Austin?
All right, I live in the Black Forest in Germany, in the south of Germany, near 30 minutes away from the Swiss border. And I had the surgery 3 years ago outside of Germany. When I came back to Germany, I was very unhappy with my surgery, but I didn't get anybody to help me. So for 3 years, I lived with that. And I started the PCO, so the post-capsular opacification.
So why did you have a lens implant to begin with? So how old are you right now?
I'm 46.
So you had a lens implant placed into each eye in 2022.
Yeah.
When you were like 43. Why?
I was very short-sighted, or minus 350, and I had astigmatism. And when I went to do this, I went to do LASIK. They told me I have corneal irregularities and I was not a good candidate. So within like 2 days, I had to decide, do I want to go with IOL? And I did all the research I could, but it was very short time for research. Decided to do it, and I wasn't told all the issues or complications that I might experience.
Did you have a cataract?
No, not at all. My eyes were very healthy.
This was just elective lens replacement surgery?
Yeah, I was wearing contact lenses for 20 years.
Okay, so it looks like, based on what I can discern, that you had a lens called the Odyssey lens, which we use a lot of. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah.
Okay, because I could tell when we were taking it out that it was the Odyssey. But why did you not like your vision with the Odyssey?
So immediately what I noticed were, I work with computers, and so the whole day within an office and in front of computers, monitors, laptops, cell phones. So I noticed ghosting around the letters, and I noticed a glare everywhere where there is electronic devices emitting light. So I know that this is something that many people usually think, well, if I have a problem with multifocal, it's probably going to be driving at night. And I hope that people realize that it has to do with emission of light or surfaces that reflect light. And for me, the worst case scenario, apparently, it was that. So a beautiful snow day on the slopes for skiing, a lake on a sunny day for sailing, and of course, during work, we work in business offices, which are full of artificial light. Every time there was a light, a lamp or something like this, I saw halos, glares, and anything in that field of vision was blocked then by this light. I only saw the light, I didn't see details anymore. So it could be that, for instance, a person in front of a very bright window, I didn't see the facial expression anymore at that person.
Okay, so you told your ophthalmologist in Germany? Is that who you were seeing, an ophthalmologist in Germany at the time?
When
was your surgery done in Germany, or was it done?
My surgery was in Turkey.
Okay.
And when I came back to Germany, nobody wanted to help. They said, well, you didn't do it here, and we cannot help you.
So you saw how many different ophthalmologists in Germany or Turkey for like a consultation to help solve your issue?
In Germany, I managed to get at least 2 appointments. And they said, okay, that's it. You're going to live with it. The halos are like this. Nothing to do. And for 3 years, I mourned my situation. I thought, it cannot be that this is my life now. I'm not that old. And I lost so much. I was able before, without contact lenses, to read very clear at this distance, this distance, this distance. And after all, with the multifocals, more or less like this and not very clear. And for far, I was 2015, and after all, with the multifocals, I was not even 2020. So it bothered me a lot.
And you developed posterior capsule opacification. When did you know that you developed what we call PCO?
Hmm. That was in September last year. I started noticing
Okay.
some 30 on my field of vision.
So your capsule was pretty clear for the first year or two
Yeah.
after your surgery, and you still didn't like your vision.
Yeah, no, I hated everything.
Okay. So I would say there's two issues here. Number one, you're very young to have elective lens replacement surgery, what we call premium lens replacement. So the younger you are, the greater quality of vision you're accustomed to because your lenses are optically very clear. So if I had a 43-year-old who had pretty normal lenses and they came in and they said, I want lens replacement, I would say, you will definitely see a halo at night. Your quality of vision won't be as good as it is with your glasses or contact lenses, and to expect that. Now, the natural lens ages and gets worse by the time you're like 50. So 50-year-olds are much more tolerant of the quality of vision that you experience. Secondly, if you, so your age is kind of like a higher risk. I would say anybody who's like younger than 45, they're more likely to be dissatisfied. Anybody who's 50 and older, they're less likely to be dissatisfied with the same lens. The lens you have, the Odyssey lens, I found there's a 99% chance you're going to like your vision, you're going to be fine. There's a 1% chance you're not going to like it. But I think that your age made you more likely to not like it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, however, that nobody would exchange your lens
Yeah.
in Germany.
Not at all. And when I got, when I started seeing this hazy and it became darker, in Germany we call the second cataract.
Yes, you
Yeah.
developed that.
Yeah, I didn't know that this was going to happen. Nobody told me. So when I went to exchange my glasses, one of many glasses that I had to wear, they told me, no glass is going to help you. You are getting blind. So I really panicked. It was the worst thing that I could hear from anybody about my eyes. And it still took like 2.5 months for me to get an appointment in Germany. And eventually I got, and after 15 seconds, the doctor said, yeah, you have PCO, and but were you ever happy with these lenses? I never told him that I wasn't happy. I just went there because maybe I was getting blind. He said, everything is healthy with your eye, but if you're not happy with these lenses, you should first, before I remove the capsules or break the capsule, please look for somebody. And I looked everywhere. I found one specialist, and he's known throughout Germany. He's the head of a department in one university for surgeries for eye operations. He said he could help me, but he didn't trust the results that I was going to get. So he said, your case is 3 years already, the capsule might be very contracted, and it's hard to rotate because I also have astigmatism. So he said it could be even worse. You could get out of this operation with worse eyes.
This is our patient's right eye that underwent intraocular lens exchange on March 12, 2025. She subsequently had the same procedure to her left eye 5 days later on March 17th. You can see that she has an Odyssey multifocal lens inside the capsular bag that has 2+ posterior capsule opacification. After anesthetizing her eye with intraocular lidocaine, OcuCoat viscoelastic is used to fill the anterior chamber. Then, after a Donnenfeld spatula is used to elevate the anterior capsule from the lens optic, Helon GV is used to visco expand the capsular bag. A Connor wand is used to try to rotate the haptic closest to me out of the capsular bag. I noticed that the distal tip of this haptic is fibrosed into the capsular bag, and as I try to lift and rotate the haptic into the anterior chamber, I can see an area where the capsular bag equator is visible, indicating loose or absent zonules for about 1 clock hour. So we make another paracentesis 180 degrees away and then use additional Helon GV again to visco-dissect the capsular fibrosis from around this haptic, which then allows us to extricate the haptic from within the capsular bag safely. The other haptic moves more freely since the fibrosis around that haptic was previously separated with Helon GV placed around that haptic. We rotate the Odyssey lens into the anterior chamber and then cut it in half with our micro forceps and IOL cutters. The lens is then removed in 2 pieces through our 2.8 millimeter corneal incision. A capsular tension ring is inserted to provide long-term stability to the capsular bag for this relatively young patient. We then use our capsule guard, irrigation, and aspiration handpiece to remove the viscoelastic from inside the capsular bag and then to directly aspirate the posterior capsule opacification from the visual axis and from the fornices of the capsular bag. We are able to successfully remove most of the lens cells that are in her visual axis. Next, the Envista Toric Aspire lens is then placed into the eye, which has been filled with viscoelastic. The lens is rotated into correct alignment to correct her astigmatism. Viscoelastic is removed from behind and in front of the IOL. Incisions are hydrated and confirmed to be self-sealing, and our patient's surgery comes to a successful conclusion.
And when I was still in the airport at the city, I had flew there to fly there to get it. So when I flew there and was going to fly back, I decided to write you an email and say, that's the best shot I have. Even if it's in the US, I'm going to try. And I'm very happy it came out. I mean, it really changed my life now.
So you had to fly from what city did you fly out of, and what was your flight path to get to Austin?
Okay, I flew from Zurich. It was
Switzerland.
Yes, in Switzerland, to Amsterdam, then to Detroit, and to Austin. I think there is an easier way, but right now Lufthansa is in strike.
Got it. And then we did intraocular lens exchange to both eyes, and I'll show the video. We did, how many days between the eyes did we do it?
It was last Wednesday to Monday. How many days are?
So we did your first eye on a Wednesday, your second eye on a Monday.
Yeah.
Got it. So we removed your multifocal lenses and gave you a monofocal, a toric monofocal. We use it's called the Envista Toric monofocal. Aspire, right? So sometimes people get better depth of focus than others. I tell everybody it's a monofocal lens. So we were just targeting to get you good far vision, targeting your right eye to see pretty good far away, but you would need glasses to see up close. Your left eye to be a pinch less sharp far away, but a pinch better up close. And we did your second eye yesterday, and today you're able to see 20/20 from each eye. And we never promised this, but our reading, what's your ability to like see your phone and things up close? How is it?
So I have this opportunity then for a couple of days to test my right eye, and I was in love with it because all the things that I for 3 years couldn't see anymore, I finally could see again. But I noticed, of course, for near, if I held like this, maybe I could make out what was my phone.
This is with your Odyssey lenses.
My Odyssey lens on my left eye, okay, and the new Aspire.
Oh, okay, got it.
On the right. So we talked, and I didn't want monovision at all. I went just a tiny bit on my left eye so I could see a little bit better. And yeah, now I can see like this. I can read practically everything.
So you can see that size print with that brightness level on your phone. Where can you hold it and see it well?
Right here already.
It's comfortable. You're not straining. You can read everything. It's sharp.
Even like this, I can read it.
Yeah. So just
it's amazing.
We never promised that. She's like, I told you, there's like a spectrum of outcomes with different lenses, and you're performing at the high level of the outcome. So we never promised this. So if anybody out there watching gets this type of monofocal lens, expect that you're going to need reading glasses.
But with the monofocal now, I have the distance is much higher than with the multifocal, and near is also much better. So the range of vision that I got with the monofocal is much better than what I got with the multifocal before.
Which is very unusual. But your main issue, what were like the top 3 things you were trying to solve for by coming here?
Well, during work, leisure, everything, the halos, the glare.
Got it.
The ghosting everywhere. The second thing was I missed a lot of details because of the glare. I didn't see things that were there. The glare was too much that I didn't see entire buildings sometimes. Trees, entire big trees I couldn't see because the halo was this big, so it covered everything behind it. Of course, driving is very important to me. I drive super sport motorcycles, and we need.
You drive motorcycles?
Yes.
Oh wow.
And a super sport can drive 300 kilometers per hour, so you need very.
How fast?
300 kilometers per hour.
You go that fast?
Yes. It's not possible to go faster because in Europe they cheap tune the.
You do that?
Yes, and all those things that
That's
I could
like
do
200
before.
miles per hour. Okay, got it.
And so you need this distance. You need to be able to see very well at a higher, because you're going to be very fast there.
Okay.
So it has the acceleration of a Porsche, about 4.1. So to have the ability now to just see that, to see clear at far, it allows me to do so much more.
Awesome.
Yeah. Skiing again. I can't wait to ski. We still have snow in the Black Forest. So I'm so looking forward to get there. See everything covered in snow, the trees, the ground. It was not possible with the multifocal. I saw only glare everywhere. I missed the details. I missed the tree, the nature. So yeah, I think there is so much more now in my life that I'm looking forward to.
Very cool.
I can't wait for it.
Very cool. So I think the take-home points on you are lens exchange can be done, in my opinion, many, many years after the original implantation. I would say that people 43 years of age, maybe younger than my comfort level for putting in a multifocal lens. And yeah, I think more ophthalmologists should be able to do intraocular lens exchange. You shouldn't have to travel from Germany.
Yes.
There should be an ophthalmologist within like 100 miles of your city in Germany or France or England or Switzerland that can do this. It's not like magic.
For them it is.
It's really not. Anyway, thank you for making the trip over. And I'm glad you ended up seeing well.
Yes, I'm very happy that everything went well. This doctor that told me to have PCO, he said he never did any lens exchange. So he would not even try.
Yeah.
He operates on eyes, he puts those lenses, but he never exchanges.
Yeah, we do lens exchanges like every day. I probably do 5 a week. So it's very routine. It's just like another routine thing. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, doctor.
Yeah.
It really changed my life.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
Good.